Alrighty, what is up YouTube? So today we're going to be doing an update video on this 1998 Accord that I acquired a couple of weeks ago. Of course, I've only done one video on this car to date, and that was just introducing it. But this one, in that video, I also mentioned a bunch of things that I was planning on doing to it relatively soon. And I've done all of those things plus a little bit extra. So we're going to be going over it right now. So here you go. Of course, in the last video, the car was completely 100% stock. This was my mom's old car, and she didn't do any modifications to it whatsoever. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and do a quick walk around of how she's sitting right now. So there you go. Looking pretty good, I think. I like the little black and green color scheme I got going here. So, yeah. I guess I'm going to talk about the things in the order that I did them, just because I feel like that makes the most sense. The car is not the cleanest right now. It was raining here and I covered it when it was still wet, and so that kind of got a bunch of junk all over it, but it is what it is. Anyway, the first thing I want to touch on is actually under the hood. So let's go ahead and pop that real quick. Go ahead and put this inside the interior there, and we'll go ahead and talk about the first modification I did only a couple days after I got the car. So go ahead and pop the hood. I did mention this in the other video, but I actually put in a transmission cooler, which you can actually see right there. And pretty much what I did was I intercepted the return line on the transmission, because this transmission does have a built-in cooler inside the radiator. So pretty much I just intercepted the return line and put my new cooler in series with that. And so it's still going through the stock cooler in the radiator, but now it's also going through this. And a big failure point of these transmissions, so I've heard, is heat. And so this should obviously, or at least try to prevent, transmission failure. She still slips a little from second to third, but it's not too bad. And generally, if you're nice to the car, it'll clear up almost all the way once the car is warm. So yeah, other than that, nothing new under the hood. But yeah, that's about it for that. Just wanted to touch on that real quick. Whoops. There we go. All right, so the next thing I decided to do, of course, was get new wheels. Those hubcaps just weren't cutting it for me, and I actually bought these wheels for the 1990 Accord, which you may be able to see up there. Long story. I might make a video explaining what's going on with that car, but anyway, I bought the wheels for that car originally, but then I found out I was getting this car, and of course the bolt pattern and stuff in the offset of the wheels will work for this application, of course. So decided to go ahead and put them on. These are the NK EDR 9s. These are 15 by 6.5 with a plus 38 offset, which actually fits the car really well. As you can see, the wheel, got a little bit of poke, but it's almost flush with the fender, especially in the rear. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Again, black. It's kind of like a satin black. It's not really glossy, so hopefully it won't scratch up and look ugly over time. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with those. Of course, I mean, it would have been nice to go with larger wheels. 15s look kind of small, but at the same time, these tires are almost brand new, and I did want to reuse them. And it was the same case for that car, so it was really lucky that these wheels fit on this car, and I could reuse the tires that were already on the car. So yeah, I think that makes it look really nice. Obviously, it's a lot better than hubcaps and kind of gives it, that aggressive look that I was kind of going for. I mean, it's not really aggressive, but it looks cool is my point. So that's that. And then a few days after that, I decided to get the windows tinted. As some of you may or may not know, I work at a dealership and we have a tint guy on site. And so I was able to redeem my employee discount and get all the windows tinted, of course, except for the windshield. So I went with 18% tint all around. It's pretty similar to the 22% tint I have on my other car. I can't really notice a difference in darkness. It looks about the same. But as you can see, yeah, I mean, window tint is one of those things that would make any car look better, and that definitely applies to this one. So, yeah. The only other aesthetic mod that I've done on the outside is this Honda logo right here. Of course, the original one was chrome, and this car was repainted a few years ago, and when they put it back on the car, it was crooked, so it was kind of, it looked kind of ugly and stuff. So I got this genuine black and chrome Honda logo off eBay, and I put it on the car myself. As you can see, I did a pretty good job aligning it for just eyeballing it, so it's definitely better than the old one. So I think that looks pretty nice. So that's pretty much it for the exterior aesthetic mods. Let's go ahead and hop in the car real quick I'll talk about the final thing that I did. Still pretty decently clean in here. Of course, I try to take care of it. So there you go. So the last thing that I actually did, well, actually I'll start the car first so we have a little bit of light and stuff. So we are sitting at 216,860 miles. I did drive the car yesterday a little bit, but today it's about to get driven a lot more. So it'll probably have over 217,000 by the time this video hits the internet. I'll go ahead and start her up. There you go, starts right up. Go ahead and hit the headlights. So the last thing that I did, of course, was put this Kenwood head unit in. And of course this head unit was actually in the 1990 Accord, if you guys remember. I think I made a vlog on that subject, but of course the 1990 Accord is kind of, its days are numbered, so I decided to pull the radio out of that and stick it in this car. And some of you may remember from the original video, this car did have an aftermarket Kenwood head unit from about 2010, but it didn't have USB, it didn't have Bluetooth, and it didn't have, I think that's about it. The main things I wanted to put in here were USB and Bluetooth. Of course, this one has all of that stuff. And of course, having an iPhone 8 means this is, I can't really charge and listen to music at the same time. So it's really nice to be able to have USB audio. That way I can listen to music and charge my phone at the same time. So that's pretty nice. Of course, the dash kit that I used for that car is a Universal Honda one. So I just modified it a little bit, used some different mounting clips in the kit, and it fits perfectly in this car, and it's really solid, which is nice. Of course, the 1990 Accord had a bunch of broken plastic, so it was really loose, but this one is nice and solid, not going anywhere. And I think it looks pretty nice. It blends in with the interior decently well for being much newer than the car actually is. So that's pretty much it, of course. And let's see, a couple of other things. Under the hood, when I did the transmission cooler, I drained the ATF beforehand and then filled it up afterwards, of course. So did a drain and fill on the transmission, and I also changed the engine oil. So we are good for a while. I don't think this thing's gonna focus, but yeah. So yeah, this thing is good till 219,000, maybe 220,000. Of course, I do 300-mile intervals. I did check the oil the other day because I put about 250 miles or 200 miles on the car since I changed the oil. It was just a little bit below the full mark. I still have to continue to monitor it to see how much oil this car is really consuming, but I'm gonna guess it's somewhere around a quart every 1,000, maybe a little bit worse than that, but that's just kind of how it is for these old Hondas, I guess. And of course, this one has been run low on oil more times than I can remember because my mom never changed her oil. So I can't really fault the car too much for that. Anyway, that's gonna be pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because I pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about. So yeah, this car is coming along pretty nicely. Much nicer than my previous second car, that's for sure. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this update video, and I'll see you guys later.